Hello and welcome to the show, everyone. I am Preston Poole. That is Tyler Adams. This is Unadvised here on the Sports Animal YouTube, Facebook, right here on our X account at Unadvised Pod. Give us a follow at Tyler's Takes at Preston Poole 405. A lot to talk about today, including the NBA playoffs, a little college basketball news as well. But first off, T-Bag, how are you doing on this fine, what even day is it? Thursday evening.
I'm doing good, Preston, because I think I have a new profile picture come football season. Shout out to you. Made probably the best Photoshop anyone's ever made of me, of my face over Lee Corso with the headgear.
Yes.
I think once this Thunder run is over and we're moving on to football season, hopefully in late June, early July, I think I'm gonna have to switch that thing on over.
Yeah, so obviously, Lee Corso retires. We'll get into that because I've got a take on that I'm sure a lot of people won't like, but we'll get into that a little later on. As soon as I saw the Oklahoma State accounts tweet that photo out, I said, you know what, I think I better put T-Bag's face on that and tweet that. If you want to see that, it's on my Twitter account at Preston Poole 405. I thought that was pretty funny. So we'll get into that. Let's go ahead and get into the NBA playoffs that are going to be starting here on Saturday. Obviously, we have two more play-in games left to happen. We'll have the Grizzlies and Mavs tomorrow night, as well as the Hawks and the Heat tomorrow night as well. Let's just go ahead and start with the number one seed in the Western Conference, your Oklahoma City Thunder. Again, they'll be taking on either the Grizzlies or the Mavs. If I had to, if you're putting, a gun to my head or whatever you want to say, I had to pick one of those two teams, I would probably say the Grizzlies, but the Mavericks played pretty decent last night, T-Bag.
I would probably say Grizzlies in the sense of what's going to be the easiest get in and get out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the playoffs. It's not going to be easy. But you guys know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all followed this team along. We're expecting a 5-game, probably at most series, no matter who they play.
I think they both go 5, no matter what team.
Yeah. I think we're seeing a gentleman's sweep. With that said, beating the Mavericks would just be so sweet. I mean, I know it's not the same without Luka, and I know their fans are down on him. But just to put that final, dagger, the Thunder send their regards, on their shitty season, would be glorious. It would be glorious.
And so many people, especially when Luka returned, in the Lakers uniform, and then this week when the ownership forced Nico Harrison to do the press conference where no cameras or recording devices were allowed.
They negotiated for recording devices. They just couldn't put the audio out.
Yeah, which is
that way they could have their own transcript for their stories.
It's so dumb. But a lot of people are like, man, I'm starting to feel sorry for the Mavericks. I say to hell with that and pour more on them, dude. I don't care. Let's move them to Vegas next year. I don't care, man. You know what I'm saying? I do not care. I hate the Mavericks. Quite frankly, I hate their fan base as well. So you know what? Screw it.
I think, Preston, me and you have talked about this before. We both have a general rule in life. If the sports team is in the state of Texas, just don't root for them. It's a pretty simple way to go about life. Yeah. And I like this simplistic way that is. And yeah, I mean, I've definitely felt bad for Mavs fans to a degree. Like, not like I'm going to sit here and pout over them, but I understand the trauma that they've been through.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, nonetheless, I want the Game of Thrones, Arya Stark, or the Ramsay or the Bolton guy, whatever his name is.
No, I want Red Wedding. That's what I want for the Mavericks. I want Red Wedding level stuff. Yes.
And yeah, so I mean, I say bring them on. I do think it'd be a tougher series for sure. I've been playing those three bigs. It'd be a lot more physical. Mavericks on the defensive end are very good still, even with or without Luka, they're very good defensively. But I would like the Thunder's chances in that series.
Yeah, nothing really about the Grizzlies scares me personally when I think of a first round matchup with the Mavericks. I guess if PJ Washington just goes inferno again, right? That's pretty scary. But now you'd have the factor of that's probably who Lou Dort is going to be focused on guarding, right? It is going to be PJ Washington. So I would assume that PJ Washington is going to go nuclear from 3 again.
Yeah, that's the thing is the perimeter defense for the Thunder would just be lethal.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely lethal. And then you put Hartenstein in the middle. I mean, the Mavs are going to get their own, obviously, but the Mavs wouldn't be able to do anything on the perimeter.
And people might say, well, what about the size of the Mavs? That doesn't really matter unless you have a Luka Doncic there.
Yeah, like I think the Thunder could go small ball and dominate.
Yeah.
As weird as that is to say out loud, I think the Thunder could go, small ball. With maybe even just Chet as their big guy out there for the rim protection against Anthony Davis. And I think the Thunder would thrive in that situation.
Yeah. Now, unless they play Gafford, Lively, and Davis all at the same time, right? But no one's going triple bigs. That's just a dumb way to play. Because again, I think the Thunder could, if they, for some dumb reason, the Mavericks went triple bigs, Thunder would just go small and just run right past all those guys. I think Thunder, no matter who they play, either the Grizzlies or the Mavs, I think it is a 5-game series. And they probably lose one on the road at some point in that series. So, and then as far as the Grizzlies goes, Ja Morant, don't care. He's kind of a shell of himself, what he was back.
He's not the best player on the team this year.
Yeah, and shell of himself back to when they were the 1 seed a couple of years ago. Why am I blanking on the tall, goofy guy from
Jackson?
Purdue? No, from Purdue. Zach Edey. Look, the stats would tell you that he is a good player, but my eyes tell me that he is not a good player. He's just slow.
Hartenstein would make him dizzy. Hartenstein's skill would make him dizzy.
Yeah. So again, those are the two opponents potentially for the Thunder. We'll find that out tomorrow night as those teams are going to play. How about the 2 versus 7? The Rockets taking on the Warriors. This one is very interesting because I think this is 2 defensive teams, and the Warriors have the better offense, obviously because they have Steph Curry, and we know Jimmy Butler can score at a high clip. The Rockets' offense is not anything that is just like so scary or anything like that, right? I think their defense is very good, but their offense just lacks for me. I've said it 1,000 times. I'll say it one more. It's a lot of me ball when it comes to the Rockets on offense. And I don't think that's a way to play in the playoffs where everything just gets to a log jam and one guy is demanding the ball on offense.
I think the Rockets have a real chance of the series. They're the 2 seed, but it feels like the easy picks to say take Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry. Yeah. Well, Jimmy Butler's a little beat up,
and they're old, right? The Warriors are old.
They're old, and I feel like the Rockets have more depth. I think Şengün is going to be able to dominate in the middle, down low for him. And I think Amon Thompson guarding Steph Curry with how athletic he is and how just young and energetic he is, I think will cause minimal problems, but problems for Steph Curry. So I lean Warriors, and I'll say 7. I think this is going to be a tight series, and I'll take Warriors in 7 right now, but not going to be surprised whatsoever if the Rockets pull this out.
And again, this is the same thing for the Thunder. The Rockets are a young team, right? Not many of those guys on their squad have playoff experience. Now with the Thunder, you say, well, these guys, played the playoffs last season. The Rockets didn't make the playoffs last year, did they?
No, this is their first time in 5 years.
Yeah. So
you got Van Vliet, Steven Adams, and Dillon Brooks.
Yeah.
But as a cohesive unit and your star players, this is their first go around. They're playing the Golden State Warriors,
who have a lot of playoff experience.
And they're not going to be the one thing about the Warriors, no matter who they play. I mean, this goes for, I think, the Warriors. I think this goes for every team in the playoffs right now, outside of Memphis, for sure. The Rockets, minorly, and the Thunder, very minimal. No one in the West is going to be scared of anyone.
Yeah.
Golden State's veteran. Clippers are veteran. Lakers are veteran. The Mavs, they still have their, outside of Luka, they still have their finals roster. They traded Luka for Anthony Davis, who is an NBA champion and has a bunch of playoff experience.
And them missing Kyrie is big time, though.
I don't think the Mavericks are going to go far in the playoffs if they do make it. I do think the Thunder would take them out in like we just said, 5 games. but they're not going to fear the Thunder. They're not going to go and intimidated or
Oh,
the moment's
especially after
too
last
big
year.
for
No,
them.
yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
I mean they're not going to go in there thinking this moment's too big for them or anything. So I mean Golden State's not going to fear Houston at all.
Yeah. No, I completely. I think that goes 6 or 7. I have the Rockets winning that one, but it wouldn't surprise me. That one's a toss up for me, really. But I'll go with the Rockets as the 2 seed beating the 7 seed Warriors. How about the 3 seed Lakers taking on the 6 seed Timberwolves? The Timberwolves obviously made it to the Western Conference Finals last year. They traded away Karl Anthony Towns, which is kind of just mind-boggling to me that they chose to stick with Rudy Gobert over Karl Anthony Towns. Again, I've said it a million times. I think Rudy Gobert is a scumbag, and I don't like him. Anthony Edwards is leaning on the scumbag and don't like him territory, mainly because of his off-court antics.
I like his off-court antics though. They're it's nothing like where it's crossing a line of like morality or anything or morals, but I watched that goal or the documentary
Going
they
for
did,
gold,
Going for
on
Gold
Netflix,
on Netflix, and he's talking to Barack Obama, and he literally little bros Barack Obama. Like that's a guy with confidence right there, and I respect it.
Sometimes probably has a little bit too much confidence.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Cute
Anthony,
dog. He does have a cute dog.
He is he's a good basketball player, but again, it's off the court just rubs me the wrong way a little bit. And then of course you have the Lakers who have LeBron, Luka, why am I blanking on Reeves is who I'm trying to think of. I don't know. My mind is not there today, but the Lakers win this one. I think this is 5 games, 6 games tops.
I think it's a
don't believe in the
6-game
Timberwolves.
series. I think the Timberwolves are too tough to go out in 5.
Yeah.
I think they'll steal one on the road and steal one at home. But yeah, I like the Lakers to win the series in a comfortable 6. They're going to have to be in some dogfights, but it's going to be a comfortable 6.
Yeah, any team that has LeBron and Luka on their team. Now, look, they might not play defense at all, right, in the playoffs, but damn it, they're going to put up some points with LeBron and Luka for sure.
You play smart.
Especially with those guys being healthy at the moment. So, I got Lakers in about 6 in that one. So I'm tracking with you on that one. And then of course the 4 seed Nuggets against the 5 seed Clippers. The Clippers are hot heading into the playoffs. The Nuggets have fired their head coach 3 games before the season ended. Their GM is out the door once the season's over with. So I don't really know what to think of the Nuggets. They're still a good basketball team, right, with Nikola Jokic. But I just don't know what to think. And I don't want to pick the Clippers because I think the Nuggets are the better basketball team. But with everything else going on around, it's kind of like forcing me in my mind to think, well, I think the Clippers probably in like 6 or 7 games in this one.
I like the Clippers a lot. I'm going to fear the Clippers in the second round pressing because I think the Clippers are going to win the series. And I think we're going to get I think the Thunder will win this go around, but I think we're gonna get Mavs again. Last year, having the Mavs, as a 5 seed last year, be your second round draw was the Mavs were playing great basketball from All-Star break in the playoffs last year and made it all the way to the finals. It was just a bad draw for the Thunder. Thunder obviously they lost in 6, but one Shea foul away from going to 7 Oklahoma City. And, who knows what we're talking about?
Yeah.
So, and I think the Thunder are obviously going to make a big jump with, replacing Giddey and Gordon Hayward for Caruso and Hartenstein. But the Clippers, they fear me, Preston. I think they won this series in 6, maybe even 5. I'm that confident in the Clippers right now. Kawhi's playing great. The question is going to be if we get playoff James Harden or not, where he's, good at the beginning, then the closeout games start happening and he's a shell of himself. But if you tell me that they're staying healthy throughout the playoffs, I think the winner of the second round matchup between Thunder Clippers wins the West.
That's the thing with the Clippers, right? And mainly Kawhi is healthy, which Kawhi has yet to do being in LA as a Clipper. He has yet to be healthy for the whole time. I mean, he missed a good chunk of this season. He's come back. He's healthy. How long is that going to last? And like you said, the James Harden effect, right, in the playoffs. happens every year. It's going to happen this year. That's just a thing that happens with James Harden in the playoffs. So it's going to happen. So the Clippers are good. Yes. I still think that first round series probably goes to 7, and I'll take the Clippers to beat the Nuggets just because of, again, the uncontrollables, right? With the Nuggets, where they seem to be in shambles at the moment, at least, maybe not on the court, but off the court. They are definitely in shambles at the current moment. So yeah, 100%.
Why are they waiting to fire their GM until after the season too? Like, what's the point of having a GM right now? Your team's
I don't
set.
know.
Your team is set.
It's not like they can add anyone.
Yeah,
Really
you can't add. You can't cut anyone at this. I mean, you might be able to. I don't know the cutting rules, but you're not going to cut anyone at this point.
Yeah.
You need the depth if you're the Nuggets.
Maybe it's just the optical, feel of firing both at the same time, right? Which technically they did, yeah. But they're just like, hang on, you know what? We want you to. We'll give you a couple of weeks to clean out that office of yours before we send you packing somewhere else. So I don't know. They're a mess. We'll see what they do this offseason. But yeah, I don't think the playoffs are long for the Denver Nuggets, for sure. Which, by the way, I mean, the Clippers got lucky and won that overtime game against the Warriors, or else it'd be the Warriors taking on the Nuggets, and the Clippers would have had to play the way through the play-in. So it's just the Western Conference is, quite frankly, just a dogfight. It has been every single night in the West, and it's going to be a dogfight in the playoffs as well.
No series is easy. No series is easy.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll get one sweep in the West.
Yeah, I'm with you.
We'll have multiple in the East.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Yeah, speaking of the East, the opposite of a dogfight, maybe like a pillow fight, is what the Eastern Conference is. You have the 1 seed Cavs taking on either the Hawks or the Heat. If I had to go off of current vibes, I would say it's probably going to be the Heat, because the Hawks look like they didn't even want to be anywhere close to that play-in game the other night. And again, I think the Cavs sweep either of those teams, because the Cavs are just a very good basketball team, which, again, since about the All-Star break, they've kind of, not been as hot as what they were, through about February, I would say, up until the All-Star break, really. They haven't been as good or as consistent, really, as they were. But I still think the Cavs sweep in the first round.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, maybe the Heat culture can maybe get a game on them. Maybe, like, who's to say? But I'm going to go with the sweep. But Preston, if we're looking at big picture right now, we want the Hawks to win. What's that, tomorrow night against the Heat? Because the Thunder have the Heat's draft pick lottery protected. So you want the Heat to be in the lottery this year, because next year the draft pick will go to an unprotected pick.
Okay.
And who's to say the Heat are going to be? I mean, it's the Heat culture. They might make the finals next year for all we know. It's just kind of how the Heat are. Obviously, I don't see that happening. But I'm not going to bank on the Heat being all too good next year. So I'll take their unprotected pick next year. And also, just the Hawks, the Spurs have the Hawks pick unprotected this year. So if the Hawks are in the lottery, then that means the Spurs would just have another chance at lottery luck. And it's a deep draft. I'm not saying they're going to get the 1 seed for Cooper Flag, but it's a deep draft. We just don't want that. So go Hawks, go Trae Young, Oklahoma kid, rooting heavy for the Hawks tomorrow for big picture Thunder stuff. That really doesn't matter all too much, but it's something to root for, and that's fun.
Norman North's finest, Trae Young. We'll see what they can do tomorrow night. How about the 2 seed Celtics taking on the 7 seed Magic?
This is a sweep.
Yeah, but I still think the Magic could get like one where it's a game where Boston goes out and shoots like 85 threes and doesn't hit a lot of them.
Yes. I shouldn't be so confident the sweep. It's just, I like the Magic. They're building the right thing. Paulo's awesome. They just don't have the guard playmaker that a lot of other teams in the playoffs do, and that's gonna bite them when the Celtics are, have some great perimeter players. So I obviously like the Celtics big in the series. For maybe, like you said, if the Celtics shoot 25% from 3 one game, maybe the Magic can steal one. But I think this has the best chance to be a Cavaliers get sweep too. For 1-2, I mean, just have them move on. Why have them even play?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Um, 3 seed Knicks taking on the 6 seed Pistons. Look, the Knicks are good unless they play like a top 5 team in the NBA, and then they're not good, right? So we'll see. Plus, the Tom Thibodeau factor of just playing his guys the max amount of minutes that he can for 82 games, and then in the playoffs, everyone wonders why the hell his teams aren't that good. It's like, well, dude, they're tired. They've been
Yeah,
playing.
and they always go like 7 games in the first round, and they go
Yeah,
7 games in the second round where they just collapse in the second half of
yeah.
the of game 7 in round
Like,
2.
dude, these guys are exhausted. They've
Yeah,
been playing, they played 82 games where they run like 5-6 miles a game because they play, every single minute of every single game, basically. So yeah, I think the Knicks still win, but I think this is a 6-game series
yeah.
against the Pistons.
I think this is a fun at 6 games. I think the Pistons are, they're a fun team. We've talked about them, Preston. Um, Cade Cunningham, I'm excited to see what he does in the playoffs. Finally establishing himself as an all-star
Yeah.
this year, potential first team All NBA guy. He's going to be an All NBA guy altogether. So I think this is. I'm with you. I'll take the Knicks in 6, but I think this is going to be a very, very fun series, and I'm excited to watch this one for sure. Not a lot of Eastern matchups I'm excited to watch, but this one definitely excited to watch.
Yeah, I think the 3-6, and then we'll talk about the 4-5 right now. The Pacers are the 4 and the Bucks are the
Fun.
5. Those are the most watchable, or
Yeah.
the series that I want to watch the most in the East. I don't care about the top 2 teams. I think they're going to cruise to the Eastern Conference Finals. But the Pacers taking on the Bucks. Damian Lillard looks like he's going to get cleared. He's not going to play on Saturday, but it looks like he's going to try and work his way back to play on game 2, after dealing with that blood clot issue. So I don't know what to think. This one is really a toss up for me with the Pacers and the Bucks. I don't really know.
Same. I'm going to take the Pacers because I'm going to give them the respect for making the Eastern Conference Finals last year.
Yeah.
And the Bucks not winning a series in 3 years now.
Since they won the championship.
It's been since they won the championship. So
Yeah.
I'm going to give the edge to the Pacers here. I do think this is another really fun series. Probably the second most watchable. This might actually be the most watchable.
Yeah.
Because Bucks and Pacers. I love the way the Pacers play. They play fast. Giannis is obviously just fun to watch, and Dame time in the playoffs. So I'm excited for this series. I'll take Pacers, and I'll say 7. I'll say 7.
That one feels like a 7-game series. I'll go with the Pacers as well. I really like Tyrese Halliburton. He's one of my favorite players to go out there and watch. So we'll see. If you had to pick right now, what's your finals matchup?
Thunder Celtics.
Yeah, that's the easy one, right? I think
I'm obviously not going to not pick the Thunder.
Yeah. No, look, the Thunder won the West by 15, 16 games this year.
Mm-hmm.
They are a good basketball team. Obviously, everything changes once the playoffs start. We'll see, but this is the first time they're 100% healthy at the moment, where they have everyone ready to go. So,
Rested.
Everyone's going to be rested. They haven't played in over a week now at this point, a week and a half by the time they play on Sunday. By the way, noon tip-off on Sunday here in Oklahoma City. So if you were planning on going to church on Sunday, cancel that and go to the Church of Thunder on Sunday at the Paycom.
I got a wedding in Tulsa. It's my best friend's wedding. I'm the best man in this wedding. Saturday, and so that wake-up call to drive home, because
you have to book it back to Oklahoma City.
Tulsa, I love you guys. I love our Tulsa listeners. I love Tulsa. I love this entire state. But damn it, I'm gonna be in my city to watch my team play.
You have to.
I'm driving back, and I'm watching this game in Oklahoma City, and it's the start of a fun run we're about to go on. But yeah, that alarm clock at 9:30, 10 a.m. When I know I'm gonna be up till probably at least 3. At least 3 is gonna be.
The good thing is that the speed limit on the turnpike is like 100, so you'll be able to make it back to Oklahoma City in plenty of time.
Yeah.
To catch the ball.
We had to be out of the Airbnb. We all got me and my buddies got an Airbnb for the weekend. So we have an Airbnb and we have to be out by 10 a.m. anyway. So I wouldn't really have a choice either way. So honestly, I'm kind of glad this is just a noon tip.
Yeah.
So I could just like turn my brain off the rest of
I saw the noon tip and I was smiling ear to ear. I said, "You know what? If you're gonna play on a Sunday, let's get that thing started at noon." So
Yeah.
they'll be the first game to go off on Sunday.
We got really lucky with the playoff schedule so far.
Yeah.
6:30 on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Thursday, Preston, I don't think is announced yet. Oh no, it is. I'm looking at
I
ESPN.
was
It's
gonna
8:30.
say might need to check because I don't want to say anything that we
Yeah.
might know that's not public. But yeah, I
It,
had seen that it was gonna be an 8:30 tip.
8:30. It's on the ESPN app, and then but Saturday, 2:30 game. So only one 8:30 game in your first four for the Western Conference. You take that every time.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%. So, yeah, I would go Thunder Celtics, is what I would pick as well. So, anything else on the NBA playoffs before we get into a little college
This
football?
this is the last thing on the Thunder, and it's just I'm trying to convince myself too, guys, because I know this is when the sports pessimism comes out in all of us because like we've felt this feeling before. We've been heartbroken every time, and it's like
Yeah.
I know I'm feeling the same way, guys, but I just come back to last year. They were so close to beating Dallas. Dallas won in 6, but they were in every single game that they lost. If Shea doesn't foul PJ Washington on that three with 2 seconds left, um, Thunder come back for Game 7. Who knows what happens? And then, like I said earlier, you subbed Josh Giddey and Gordon Hayward, who were obvious holes in this team last year, for Caruso and Hartenstein, who have been beyond perfect fit for this role. I just think if the Thunder are healthy, I don't care about youth or anything. I just think if they're healthy,
Yeah. And a
it's
lot of people
it's their
out
time.
there, the last like what month of the season has kind of worried some people, right? But I say these guys locked up the 1 seed with like a
Yeah,
month left in the
there's
season. Do you really think that they were going to keep their foot 100% on the gas?
yeah,
And
there's
look,
a
I know,
human element to all this.
yeah,
Even if Mark and the Thunder coaching staff are doing everything they can to make sure they play their ass off every single night, at the end of the day, there's just a human element of, hey, this is game 76 and I'm
yeah.
tired.
Look, I'm in the studio, on the radio side of things, for these games, and I even let my foot off the
Yeah.
gas for the last month of the season. It was just like a slog trying to get to the playoffs. You're like, wait, can we just start the playoffs now? I'm so tired of just this regular season that at this point doesn't really matter at this point. But
I mean, you talk to Matt Pinto daily, and I know he said it on our show when we have him on for the Thunder Report. Chris Fisher has said the same thing. They just talk about, because they're traveling with the team, they're working
yeah,
when they're working. Now, obviously, the team, that's kind of their point. They're like, look, I'm traveling, and I just got to call the game. These guys are playing the game. They're practicing. They're doing so much more than we are, and we're exhausted. So imagine how they feel.
yeah,
Like we're excited for this thing to start wrapping up at this
yeah.
point, because
No,
we just need some off time.
Derek on Facebook says, "Is SGA pretty much a lock for the MVP?" I've seen, so some writers will say who they voted for, and at this point, Shea has so far, again earlier this morning that I saw this, so it could have changed at this point, but Shea had 16 votes compared to 8 for Jokic. So I would say that overwhelmingly, yes, Shea will be the MVP this season.
Yeah,
That's just based on writers who vote for the MVP who have said who they voted for so
and
far.
I've said this too. I'm gonna be really mad if he doesn't win it. I'm gonna feel for him. But you want to talk about some good motivation?
Yeah, and I don't even think
round
Shea
two,
is a guy that needs the motivation.
No,
yeah.
he does. But for everyone else, just for
Yeah.
everyone in that organization,
Yeah,
because I think the awards announced May 7th, so it's gonna be like right at the beginning of round 2.
yeah.
The sicko in me would kind of smile if he lost. Be like, that's good motivation for the boys.
Yes, no, I agree with you.
But obviously rooting for him to win. I want him to win.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think you will, and I'm rooting for him as well. So, all right, let's get into a little college football. As I don't know if this is like breaking college football news that came out today, but Lee Corso is set to retire after the first episode. I guess we can call episode first week of College Game Day this year. And what I'm about to say is going to make a lot of people probably mad. And I get that. I love Lee Corso. It was appointment television for me growing up to be in front of the television Saturday morning watching College Game Day front to back, right? All the way through. I had to be sitting there Whenever they were in Norman for that Notre Dame game back in what year was that? 2012. I was there with a sign. Love College Game Day. This is a move that probably should have happened after COVID.
Yeah. I'm not going to argue too much, Preston. I mean, it was getting kind of sad there a little bit of the time on the show.
Like I don't want to watch a show and feel bad that they're forcing this old man out there in front of us just because of the shtick that he has.
And it's like the thing with athletes can have this problem. Like some athletes love to go out on top while they're still while they still got it, so people just have fond memories of them forever. Some athletes, Aaron Rodgers, just hold on for too long, and by the end, it's just like
people are tired of it.
Yeah, it's just like, and it's just it doesn't tarnish any it, and it's different for Lee Corso compared to an athlete because athletes, we nitpick so much more. That it does, make you, your last memories of them aren't great.
Yeah,
and so that's the thing with Lee Corso. It's like I kind of wish maybe this happened, a few years ago, where the last memories we have is him, cussing on air and shooting, a shotgun, whether it was OU, OSU, whatever school he's at, shooting off a cannon, just whatever. But yeah, it's gotten to a point now where it's like, it's time, but it's going to be appointment television on that week one to watch the final one, because it might be sad. It might be sad, but you got to watch the final one.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people out there don't really like Pat McAfee, but I think he's awesome on College Game Day. I really like him on there. So I don't think that they're losing, a whole lot by Lee Corso stepping aside.
And let's face it, ESPN altogether just isn't the same anymore.
Yeah.
Like it's not 2013 where you woke up.
It's clickbait ESPN is what it is.
Yeah, where you woke up to the old school Sports Center before it went to a prime College Game Day where college football was still pure and all this stuff. Like right now, it's all just gross. It's all just gross. So.
It's all about what you can get in like a 20-second clip to put on TikTok.
Because that's where a lot of money generates.
Yeah. So, but good for Lee Corso. Had a great, 38-year career, I think, at ESPN working on College Game Day, and I think other shows before that, before it was actually like College Game Day. So. And obviously a longtime coach in college football as well.
Can I say it, Preston?
Yeah.
This is a safe space for all of us. We're on the circle of trust right now. There's a trust tree. Are we sure Lee Corso is going to make it to week one?
I would assume.
He's 89 and he's had some health issues.
Yeah, that is true, but I
hope he does. I'm going to bawl my eyes out if we don't get that final headgear. But I'm just saying, I don't think it's any guarantee at this stage.
I'll go on and say yes, he will. He'll be
he's
there.
He's only 5'6". I'm looking at his Wikipedia right
now.
He's a short king, and I'm a short king, but he's even shorter king.
Well, you shrink with age, right? You get a little bit shorter.
But then that's probably been his measurement since he was a coach.
I'm just checking on Twitter to see if there's anything else going on. Nothing. Did you see Nico and UCLA might be a thing?
Yeah. Still confused. I mean, not confused on the situation, but confused on UCLA and all this. Like, is it happening? Is it not happening? Well,
and since our last show, it's come out and said it's because of the Tennessee offense, which is the same damn offense that they ran before he went there.
Yeah, and Josh Heupel got Hendon Hooker and Joe Milton drafted. Like, come on. You can do it, Nico.
Yeah, they haven't changed the offense, Nico, and mainly Nico's father, because he's kind of a dickhead in this whole entire situation. Because I guarantee you, if you were to put him in a room by himself away from his father, and you said, Nico, did you really want to ask for more money? Did you really want to leave Tennessee because of the offense? He'd be like, hell no. This all comes down to his father thinking that his son is a lot better football player than he actually is. I think the number for UCLA right now is like 1.75 million, which is, if you're checking numbers wise, that's not $4 million. And
that's less than what he was making.
At Tennessee,
probably double the. Tennessee doesn't have like income tax or anything.
Yeah, you'll be paying a lot of taxes out there in California.
A lot, like double the taxes out there in California. So bad business decision.
Derek also wants to know, you have any thoughts on the transfer edge rusher that Oklahoma State just got from South Carolina?
I haven't really looked much into him.
He has like
It,
4 years of eligibility, so I'm assuming he didn't play last year much. If he did,
yeah, he did redshirt last year. I didn't see if he played in any games. I haven't gone into any research. All I know is this wasn't happening a year ago. This wasn't happening 2 years ago, and it's happening now, and it's happening frequently. There's a new coaching staff, and they got energy. That red dirt music money's coming in. I'm optimistic. I'm impressed. We talked about the other night. I'm not saying this year they're going to be great because I don't think anyone knows. I think
yeah,
I mean, you're crazy to say if you know how good they're going to be. You can be optimistic, be like, I think there's a chance it can be a dark horse win the Big 12. Sure. I mean, Arizona State went from 3-9 to 10-2 to win in the Big 12. Make the playoff.
yeah.
So it's absolutely possible in the Big 12. It's not rebuilding the SEC or the Big 10. But I'm not going to sit here and say I don't know how good they are. I just want them to be above 500, make a bowl game again, go 8-4, 9-3. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
But just for the total future and just the next 5-year window of Oklahoma State football, which I think Gundy might kind of have. I don't know this. I haven't heard anything. I just think there's a chance Gundy may have a 7-year window in his mind where he's going to try to win a Big 12 title or two. Reestablish his legacy that he's Mike effing Gundy. And I think they're going for it right now, and I'm very, very optimistic about the future of the program.
No, 100%. Cheryl on X says, ready to get the playoff party started. By the way, it says she sent that at 10:42 p.m. It is nowhere, and it's at 10:42 p.m. So I don't know what's going on with X, but that is weird. But yeah, I'm ready for the playoffs as well, Cheryl. But as far as Oklahoma State goes, look, I'm going to be in Vegas here in about a month, and I have already set my reminder, Teabag, to bet the over on wins for Oklahoma State this upcoming season.
I love it.
I'm going to stand with Mike Gundy. We'll see what he can do. And again, like it's even the people that cover Oklahoma State, even like you who pay a whole lot of attention to Oklahoma State. You're at all the games. You're up in Stillwater every weekend for all the home games and stuff like that. No one has a damn clue what's going to go on with this football team this year.
No one does. No one does. I do think that they're going to be better than last year. They went 0-9 in conference, so I mean, it can't really get much worse. It can't get much worse. I mean, I guess they get 2-10 this year because they play Oregon early on. But what's the difference at that point?
Yeah.
Then it's a completely all right. Like we're moving on from Gundy kind of deal. So I do think they're going to be improved. But yeah, just altogether, I mean, high school recruiting's better, portal recruiting's better. It just feels like there's new life, and I talked about with Scott Wright. I use the word, and I pat myself on the shoulder real quick. That was good.
He dumps everything over.
I use the previous coaching staff just felt complacent, and they felt secure in their jobs. And
no,
that's not the case.
Oklahoma State leadership lit a fire under Mike Gundy's ass, and he said, all right, I'm going to start doing what I should have been doing for a couple of years now at this point. And that's not going to Indeed to find a guy from D3 East Popcorn State University to come in and be the defensive coordinator. Now, look, it worked for like a year when they still had the holdovers from whenever what's his name was there. I'm blanking on his name. Yeah, Jim Knowles. So we'll see how everything turns out. Spring game this weekend. If you're going, you might be a little soggy.
Yeah,
because it's going to be raining a lot. I keep seeing those rain total numbers tick up a little bit, so you might want to take your umbrella and your pontoon boat while you're out there. Maybe you can dock it up right next to Boone Pickens Stadium and go in and watch a little football for a little bit. But they're at least having a spring game. They're trying something there in Stillwater.
Thanks for changing, Preston. Going back to what Cheryl said real quick, I was saying about this today. You can feel the vibe. You can feel the playoff energy vibe all around.
Well, yeah, you drive everywhere. The playoff banners are all over the place.
It's awesome. People are you see more Thunder shirts out and about. You're seeing the flags on the cars. I mean, you're hearing conversation about people talk about it randomly. I talked about it with a waiter the other night. I'm not saying this, in a cocky way or anything, but like I don't think he knew I worked in sports media.
Yeah.
He just heard me and my buddy talk about the Thunder, and he was like, "Oh, dude." And so he literally sat and had like a 3-minute conversation with us about it.
It's a hot topic these days. The Oklahoma City Thunder, and they should be. They deserve to be. So I'm ready for the playoffs. I can't wait for Sunday. to get this thing going. Anything else on your mind before we wrap up for the evening?
Next time we talk, game 1 will be in the books.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
It will be, yeah. Probably, honestly, game 2 will be in the books since they play on a Tuesday night. We'll have to figure that out, but yeah, we'll see. Should be fun. Again, noon on Sunday. Tip off. All the games are on national television, so shouldn't be any issue of any blackouts or anything like that. So. And real quick, we'll answer Derek's question before we get out of here. Thoughts on the OU running back they got in the portal from Cal? Anyone going to transfer out of OU in the running back room? Was it Jaden Ott, the tailback, one of the best tailbacks, supposedly they say in the portal heading to Oklahoma. We'll see. He was Pac-12 leading rusher in 2023, was kind of banged up last year. Look, they can have Adrian Peterson in the backfield as long as the offensive line, if the offensive line doesn't block anyone like last year, it's not going to matter who's toting the ball in the backfield for the Sooners.
Yeah, that's the entire key to it all.
Yeah.
I mean, if the offensive line, there's no reason to go into great detail. If the offensive line sucks this upcoming year, it's not a lot's going to – the offense will be better because they have a lot better quarterback and play caller, but – that's going to be the end of some people's jobs.
Especially with a very, very tough schedule.
Yeah.
The toughest schedule, as people are saying in college football. But all right, we'll be back next week after the Thunder play a couple playoff games. We'll talk about those. We'll talk about anything else that goes on in the sports world. Thanks for joining us. This has been Unadvised here on the Sports Animal YouTube. Until next time, have a good one, everyone.